Everyone, Vampire218 here, and welcome back to my tutorial series where I show you how to build a character for Mutants and Masterminds and explain hero labs. In this video we will be discussing complications. Now, Mutants and Masterminds does require that you take at least 2 complications, and it does require one of these complications to be considered a motivation complication. Now, complications are mostly used for helping guide your RP and deciding what would be a stressful situation for my character. Some examples of complications are accident. This might be for someone who is very accident prone, like a bull in a china shop. Addiction, well, that's more of characters who have a rough time getting by without a certain thing in their lives. Curse-sworn is much more supernatural. Think of it like a warlock pact or being tied to something that is inherently like a curse. Disability is the complication for characters who have a particular disability, such as being blind, deaf, paraplegic, or any other disability. Enemy means that someone doesn't like you very much. Generally, it's someone from your past who wants to hold a grudge. You're a public figure with fame, and while everybody basically knows you, this can cause some complications for you in the long run. Flashbacks might occur if your character has had traumatic experiences and, as such, flashes back to them in times of stress. Hatred means that your character has an irrational hatred or dislike for something, no matter the consequences. Honor says that your character has a very deep sense of honor and will not violate it. Most heroes have an identity complication, as this is secret identities. Monstrous is the complication that you would take if your character doesn't look human in so much that they have a monstrous appearance that could frighten or otherwise detract from your ability to interact with others. The next group of complications are motivation. Motivation acceptance is the idea that you want to belong. Motivation doing good is you just believe in doing good. Greed means, well, your character was really in it for the stuff. Whereas justice means that your character really has a strong belief in the justice system and wants to protect the innocent and see the guilty get punished. Patriotism means your character fights for their country or ideals adopted therein of. Recognition is the complication you would want if your character just wants to stand out. Responsibility means that your character, as a motivation, has a responsibility. This could be anywhere from a company to an ailed family member or a job. Either way, you have some sort of responsibility that drives you. Our last motivation listed is thrills, which is you're just in it for the heck of it, because you want to have a good time. Mythic Weakness is to cover those described weaknesses of creatures, such as vampires not being able to go into sunlight, werewolves being weak to silver. There are various examples in literature of the Mythic Weakness complication. Obsession means, well, your character really likes something, be it science or lasagna. Your character is all about that one thing, almost to a fault. Phobia means, well, your character's scared of something. Power loss can come up if your character has a certain power set that is negated or reduced under certain circumstances. An example is Superman has power loss kryptonite, meaning it weakens his powers as an inherent trait. When kryptonite is present, Superman suffers from power loss. Prejudice means that, well, your character's part of some sort of minority group. Quirk is, well, it's a little bit weird, quite literally. It's the complication that is used for little quirks, such as leaving calling cards, a nervous tick. Relationship is the people that your hero has in their lives. If they have someone that's dear to them, that's a relationship complication. Reputation means you're bad news, or at least people think you are. They have a perception of your reputation that is, well, not the best. Responsibility, which is separate from the motivation, is various duties demanding your time. However, this is separate from your motivation. These are less important duties to you. These are not what drive you. They could be, for example, employment. However, responsibility and motivation responsibility are very closely tied. Rivalry says you have a strong sense to, well, outdo someone. Secret is, well, your character has a secret. They don't want people to know. It could be anything from a true identity to a super secret weakness. Temper means, well, your character just has a hard time keeping their emotions together. In stressful situations, they might have an aggressive outburst. Our last named complication is weakness. This just means that, well, something can hurt you really bad. Weakness is generally used for if you are weak to a certain type of damage. For example, in Pokemon, grass types are weak to fire types. This is a weakness that the grass types have. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Vampire 218 Explains, Mutants and Masterminds, and a Hero Lab tutorial. I hope to see you in the next video.